Hi Stampers! Today I'm going to show you a technique I'm calling pillow tiles, and that's this part right here. Let's get started. The first thing we need to do is use our diagonal scoreboard or scoring tool. Yeah, it is a scoreboard, our scoreboard, and it just fits right on top of the original scoring board. We need, this is a piece of paper 4 by 5 1/4, and we're going to score it at 1, 3, and 5. So we have 1, 3, and 5. And then on the left side of it, we also have 1 and 3. 1 and 3. Then we turn the paper and we do the same thing. 1 and 3 and 1, 3, and 5. So you can see the scoring marks. I've also done the same thing on a piece of vellum so we can use this as a template. And then I just cut out this little portion here so we can just sponge in there. Okay, the next step is to do our sponging, and I'm using Soft Sky for this. And again, this is our little template. You want to use a sponge dauber, and we're just going to lightly flick with our sponge dauber. We don't want direct ink, so I'm just tapping off a little bit. And this is right in the groove here, and you gently press and bring it forward. You just want sort of a subtle look. There we go, and you move it on to each of the squares. And we just go through them all. Oops, pressed a little too hard on that part. There, that one's working better. Must not have been wet enough. And this is one of those times you really can't turn it over to do it over. But it'll still look good. We'll just put some flowers over it. Can always fix things in stamping. Down here. And you could make a template out of just regular cardstock, but it's a lot easier to see where you're going with it if you use the vellum. And right here we'll just add a little bit. I like to add a little bit on the bottom. And right there. Okay, so that's the look we're going for. The next step is to stamp the image on top of it, and I'm using the Wild About Flowers set. The cool thing about this, it's a photopolymer set, and it has numbers. Here's a number 2, and the coordinating flower is number 2, number 1, and number 3 and number 3. And these also have little arrows so you know what direction to put the flowers. So we'll first stamp the stems. Little tongue twister there. And again, this is a bigger stamp, so I'll just go with it flat and put the ink on that way. We'll do several of them. at different heights. We don't want to go all the way across. We're just going to go about 3/4 of the way. Yep, just do what I said not to do. And we'll put one more in there. Okay, now we'll add the tops of the flowers. Cover up the ink. And I'm using Blackberry Bliss. And there are little knobbies on these flowers, and that's what we're going to be shooting for. Or on the stems, I mean. Okay, so arrow up. Here's a knob and here's a knob. Yeah, let's see. That's not the knob. And sometimes I just wing it, especially for the inner flowers. There we go. That should do it. The next step is just attaching it to the card. Just a black card. And we'll attach that with just regular adhesive. Okay, then for the sentiment, it's very simple, but I wanted to show you a little trick with that. I have a piece of black that's 1 inch and a piece of Whisper White, or Very Vanilla, that is 3/4 of an inch. First thing you want to do is put the two ends together and put this little piece underneath so you can see the black. So you just put the two ends together like this. I'm using the hexagon punch and just chop off the end. Ouch. Don't get your hand in there, it does hurt. And then we're going to stamp the sentiment in the Memento Black. I'm using Thinking of You from the Wetland set. You want to go sort of close to the end. See how straight I can get? Not too bad. And then we will trim it. We'll trim the white first, like so. And then we'll put this on the black and leave the same amount on both sides. That way, if you mess up one, they'll both be messed up. And I'm not a very good cutter. There we go. So now you have the even edge all the way around. We'll attach the two. And put it on the card with a couple pop dots. Can go over, oh, I think we're going to go right over here since got a little ink on my fingers. Little white space. And there we have a really pretty card. So I hope you enjoy the technique and have a great day. Thank you.